Hello YouTube, I'm Jack Clark and welcome to dafavrs, decent advice from a vaguely reliable source. Hello, how are you? Oh, I haven't seen you in forever. But yes, like many people, I've also been losing one too many hours to Pokemon X and or Y, and of course me trying to make my Pokemon the best they can be statistically, digitally, physically, and emotionally, whilst of course neglecting the squishy and valuable human operating the controls. So generally as a rule of thumb, which is a phrase I say too much, I think I'm a bad person. Not because I played the game directly or because, well, I'm morally a bad person. I just think I'm a bit rubbish. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel like this. Of course, you feel like you are ambitious. You want to do so much more with yourself, but you lack the motivation to do what you want to do, or that you lack the motivation to do what you don't. It's confusing. You don't quite know where you are, and you're like, okay, I want to do this. Why aren't I doing it? Why aren't I writing that book I've been meaning to write for a million years? And why am I hearing so many news stories about a 12-year-old who's now got a free film deal and free 7 million book deals and series, and of course is a member of Mensa and doing so much more with their life, and why aren't I doing that? It's infuriating, and I feel like I'm a bad person to not want to do this. And it's not even that you don't want to do it, you just... I know, it's a bit infuriating and it's frustrating and you just don't know. So I think I'm a bad person. So what do you do if you feel like you're a bad person? You want to make that not the case. No one wants to believe they're a bad person. No one wants to remain a bad person and be chronically unhappy for the rest of their life. God, that would just be infuriating even more so. More so the feeling that you're a little bit rubbish for not doing anything. It's just a self-perpetuating cycle of, well, bullcrap, really. And I'm not really up for that. So I try to make myself a better person. And of course, that's a very vague term in itself. So going out to make yourself a very vaguely better person? No, you need to aim for something a little bit more precise. So I thought, okay, what do I think is inherently wrong with me as a person? So, well, a motivation for wanting to do bigger things but not wanting to do those things are kind of like, I don't quite understand why that is the case. So I'd say, okay, that's a bit too vague in itself as a concept. So let's go down a little bit further. What could I do which is relatively small and achievable to go toward a bigger end? And that's pretty much it. Small things that will eventually snowball and turn into a bigger end. Or maybe even smaller things that will just, many smaller things that will cluster together and contribute towards a larger end. As young adults, we all have this kind of notion that we are, oh, we're just a bit rubbish, and we have this terrible self-esteem, or this kind of implied self-esteem. But I want to propose that this low self-esteem that we all have is bullshit. We hold ourselves to too high a esteem. We want to achieve so much, and we want to write that book that is going to be read across the world and taught to our children's children, and in their English class, and it's going to have that one line, that one poignant line that is going to be read, and people will just stop. And their lives will change. You want to make such an impact on this world that you may not necessarily be able to make at this point. Sure, other people have done it sooner, some people will do it later. That's okay. You may have a time limit, that's life, and you may not reach the time limit, or you may not beat the time limit, but that's a hell of a lot of time anyway. You are at the point where you are beginning to do stuff, not that you are wanting to have already done it by now. There needs to be a means to an end, and, well, for there to be an end, there needs to be a means, so shut the hell up, it'll be okay. And yeah, sure, I don't have the motivation to do what I want to do, but think of it in the most cold and clinically way, the most clinical way you can. Yeah, sure, you want to do this now, and you can't do it for whatever reason. Then just think to yourself, what's stopping me from doing this? Okay, what's stopping me from doing the first drafts of this book I want to do is the fact that, I don't know, I kind of want to have my Absol go to level 28. And that's okay. You can play video games, you can do stuff that in the grand sense of things are not going to contribute to your life. But you need to not bully yourself for thinking that. It's okay. Just because there's someone out there who's done so much better than you, there will be always people out there who are younger, cuter, prettier, have had a better upbringing, and or actually even worse, they've had a worse upbringing, they've had limited resources, but then they'll do so much better than you. There will always be people like that, and they should not be the reason why you stop doing what you're doing. It should be the reason why you keep on going. They are the milestones which you wish to reach, and you need to keep running to reach them. You want to write a book? Start with a fucking haiku. That's it. Yeah. In the comments down below as a video response, I want you to write me a haiku. It doesn't have to be because if you want to write a book. Anything about you. I want to know about you. Write me a haiku, because then that haiku could lead to a concept. And that concept could lead to a sentence. Then that sentence to 2 sentences. And then maybe that sentence to a paragraph, and that paragraph to a chapter or a page, and then it just leads to a book. And there you go. You're done. You could have made some impact. But it needs to have that level of progression. Cool your jets. You're not going to be a Nobel Prize winner by the time you're 22. As much as I would like to. But that's pretty much it. Of course, this is dafavrs. I'm Jack Clark. Remember, give me a haiku in the comments down below. And yeah, that's great. And I hope you're having a nice day. Goodbye.